bonjour, comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien. How is everybody? We're glad that you all could make it. What's going on, Keith? I see you didn't have no problem this time. All right. But anyway, we welcome you all to We Talk. And for y'all who are new, we're glad to have you. For those who always join us, we love that you're here. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and start our discussion. This week we've got a pretty good discussion. As you recall, last week we talked about your happiness versus your purpose. And if you missed it, I would highly recommend that you go and check it out because it was a very good discussion and a lot of information that was shared. But as in our usual fashion, if you are part of We Talk, you know, the first thing we do, we salute everyone who's on the live. So the first thing is, it's grown and sexy in here, so you got to have your drink, okay? So here's to everybody on the live. Now, before I bring my guests on, I just want to say this. This discussion is going to be kind of different because you probably are thinking that it's going to go in one direction. But if if you're used to being with We Talk, then you know that we always flip the script or we have a different perspective that most people don't think about. And that's the way we like to do it. So the discussion this week is this. And that it might seem elementary and it might seem like it's very, very simple, but it's a complex situation. And the discussion is going to be on why do we do good things for other people? Why do we do good things for other people? Now, a lot of you might think that that answer is obvious. We do it because we want to help people. Yeah, and that's part of the answer. But is that the only reason that we do good things for good people, for other people? Is it solely because we want to help them? Or do we expect something in return? Do we expect something in return whenever we help anybody? Do we expect anything in return? So in essence, are we really doing it for them? Or are we doing it for ourselves? So let me bring my co-host on because we're gonna beat this one. We're gonna beat this one to death because it's a very good discussion. And like I said, it seems like a simple answer to the question, but if you really delve into it, you're gonna see it's more complex than what we can imagine. So hold on. Where is Keith? All right. All right, Keith, I tried you again, man. It's not coming through. Oh, there you are. What's going on, boss?
What's up,
Keith.
OG?
Hey, what's happening?
What's going on with you, man? Everything looking smooth now on TikTok.
Oh yeah.
They
It's
recognizing me now. They recognizing me now. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, it's a lot more user friendly than over at Facebook. So I
And
find
I've been learning a lot. A lot is based on the movement and what you do on it too. So like, there's certain
yeah.
features that get unlocked as you do more, and everything like that. Yeah, they TikTok seem like they monitoring us a little more. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, and then because I had a couple requests, and I was going to talk to you and DeJoy about it, or just mention it to you, but about 5 or 6 different people came into my DM on Facebook, and they want us to come back, hey, because for
Come back
some
to
reason,
Facebook.
yeah, they want us to start doing it back at Facebook. I told them, we'll have a discussion, but I doubt it. And what they were
Why
saying
though?
was that,
Did they say
well,
why?
well, they said initially when TikTok was banned and they closed out their accounts, and that's a
Oh,
while ago. They still haven't been able to reactivate or get back on TikTok for some reason.
oh well, okay.
Hey,
Yeah,
but
we could
that's
talk about it offline, but I think with what it is we're talking about, I think TikTok is a place to be. based on what
Yeah,
I
I think
see
so.
and everything like that. Yeah, they got to get they self. Hey, start a new account. You know, create a new name.
Okay.
You know, you don't got to reactivate the old one. Start a new account. Create a new name.
Yeah, well, you know how some people are, they stuck in their ways, man. So they want, for whatever reason, they want the old profile, like it has some gold entrenched in it or something. But, you know, we'll see. Like I said, I told them, I talked to you guys about it, but I
Nah,
made
TikTok is where it's at.
yeah, I made it clear that that probably won't happen. So they got to find a way to join us over here on TikTok.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get started, Keith. I don't know. I don't see Miss O'Neill,
Remember, she
so
was talking about that class. I think this is the time she started that class. This is the
oh
20th.
yeah,
Remember, she said the 20th, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
oh yeah, yeah. But she texted me earlier and said that she would be able to join. So, but anyway, if she
All right.
comes in, if you see her, let me know. I don't know what you all can see on TikTok. I know you can see almost everything I saw as far as people being in the chat area. I don't know if y'all can see that on TikTok. Can you see who's
On
on?
TikTok is the same as what we would do on Facebook until we got had that little situation. You could see who joins, who's there. You could see comments. You could see,
Okay.
all those things like that. I haven't heard any pinging, from people
Right.
joining or not. But yeah, everything is straight.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. And if you see her, just kind of nudge me or let me know, because I don't know. I don't know what it is. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Oh, she's here. Oh,
Yeah,
okay. See, I
yeah.
wasn't
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah, yeah. Miss O'Neill, are you in?
Yep.
Hey, how you doing?
Um, Hold on.
All
1 second, y'all. 1 second.
right.
It won't let
The
me.
real lunch lady is here.
Actually, okay.
Yeah,
So
the real
actually,
lunch
guys,
lady.
yes, I am the real lunch lady, and I got the juice, baby, not the tea. On We Talking everywhere. So, but
All right.
actually, I'm trying to turn my camera on. TikTok is being a little slow because it's storming over here. But I just wanted to tell you guys something. This is for TikTok universe, okay? So we're not
Yeah.
on Facebook anymore. We're on TikTok universe. That's how we're gonna keep it here. We're gonna keep it smooth, right? So the issue with Facebook is that we won't be able to interact. Like you guys, once I turn my camera on, how you guys can see me and we can see each other. You guys, we can't do that anymore on Facebook. And that's not even just with us. That's with everybody across the platform because the class that I'm in, when the lady we were watching some informational videos. She was saying that with Facebook, you can't interact anymore. You can call, people can post like they're doing up under here, ask us questions, but we won't be able to see each other actually until we come off. So that's
Okay.
gonna change. So as far as y'all were talking about us going back to TikTok, for me, I'll go with the team or whatever's best. But for
No,
me,
TikTok.
Well, I had already said, I don't know if you caught it, but I had already told them.
yeah, and the next thing is, um, I just wanted to say before we start this live, let me see if I can turn my camera on first though. Hold on.
Yeah, and I also have a friend of mine, one of my best friends. You met him actually, Mr. G.
Let me.
Will. And
Oh, yeah. Okay.
they got a show that they do. And they were on Facebook too, and they were having problems with Facebook.
Uh,
So yeah, it's across the board. Number of people I talked to having problems
it
with that
might be,
Facebook Live.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it
Okay.
might be the way that you just received me in. So, but anyway, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna attempt to come back in, so that I can actually have my camera on because I like to look people in their eyes when I say stuff, and I teach y'all, my different
Okay,
types.
DeJoy, we get
But
it. We get it.
but anyway, guys, let me just say this. So today, I'm not even considering setbacks anymore. So I had a setback um that happened to me today, right? And normally I would take it some type of way, but I just want to remind everybody that no matter what happens, it's never a setback. It's a setup for something better. So I didn't even think twice about it. I've learned to let things go and move on. So I hope that when you all are watching us on the live and we're giving you lessons or jewels, as we say Masonically, I hope you take them so that you can have some setups in life and just dispel the setbacks. So I'm gonna log
Right.
back out and come back in really quick so I can try to get my camera on, and I'll be right back. Give me
All
like
right, well, we're gonna go ahead and get started because we
Go
got
ahead.
quite a
I'm
bit
gonna
of
log
people
back
here.
out. I'm gonna log back out because it's probably just how I came in. So I'm logged back out. Just give me 5 minutes to reset my phone, and I'll be back.
All right. Okay. Well, we thank Miss O'Neill DeJoya. She's one of our loyal team members. The three of us, we always have great discussions, but I'm not pleased when I hear anybody close to me or our folks who are going through things. But we got tough skin over here. So whatever it is she experienced, I'm sure she got through it, and she knows that she's got a support team. All right. So anyway, let's get back to this subject real quick because I know a lot of people think it's very, very simple to answer the question: do we do anything good for anybody out of the goodness of our heart without expecting anything back? That is the question. Uh, Now, we all have a self-serving bias. That means that we all have a desire to gain something whenever we exert part of ourselves, which brings us to this subject matter. That means that anything we do, it must benefit us. So I've been living my life wrong. So I used to do things just for people, just because I felt that they needed and I was empathetic toward their needs. But through my research, I'm finding that we should never do that. Anytime we do something for somebody, we should expect something back. Now, I'm being a little facetious, but there are a lot of people that live their lives that way. A lot of people will only help someone if there's some benefit for them. Now, that benefit comes in many different forms. That benefit comes in many different forms. Some people expect material gain, while others just expect a token of their appreciation or a simple thank you. But regardless of that, we still expect something. Hey, Callie, how you doing? Anytime we expect something from someone, right, it's a benefit to us, whether or not they realize it or not. So the subject is whether or not we do anything. Is it even possible? Is it even possible for us to do anything without expecting anything back? I want my co-host to kind of chime in because that was kind of mind-boggling to me when I went and did the research on it. Is there anything in this world that we can do without the possibility of expecting something back?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
I believe that this discussion is multifaceted.
Absolutely.
I also believe that whoever is answering the question, it depends on their level. And what I mean is their level of selfishness and or unselfishness. And what I mean by that is some people genuinely feel good helping other people. That's why some people get into certain jobs. They want to join the Peace Corps. They want to be, whatever the case may be, right? Because they just enjoy helping people. You ever been somewhere and you may not know where you're going? This is a little bit before GPS, right? Some of us came up before GPS, but and you might ask somebody in the store, "Hey, look, I know I'm close by. I'm trying to get such and such development or street. Can you help me out?" Oh man, and people are like jumping to help. Oh yeah, man, turn left, turn right. Because we as people are wired the way the Supreme Architect made us, that we're relational and we're interdependent. So a lot of people talk about being independent all the time. And yes, we should be independent, but ultimately we're really interdependent. meaning we need that interaction, right? And it stimulates something in us. I don't care how much money you make. When you help somebody and you see them receptive to your help and you see them grow, you can't tell me it doesn't make you feel good. And any person that says it doesn't make them feel good, they're just not at the level that I'm saying right now. So I guess I'm saying it long and short to say, when you get to a point that you realize in life it's not about you, the sooner you realize it's not about you, you'll have no problem helping other people without a hidden agenda, right?
Absolutely.
Because you know that everything you're going to get is from the supreme architect based on the seeds that you sow.
Right.
Now, there are other situations that you may do something for somebody where it's a direct something for something type of situation. So you should expect something in return. You understand what I'm saying? So
Right.
I think it varies, but I think generally, I think I answered the question, but tell me what you think. Yeah.
All right. Miss O'Neill, DeGeorgia, you want to chime in before I take the mic again?
Y'all might be mad at me for this, but okay. I'm gonna say,
Why would we
no.
be mad
There's
at you?
there's never not a time that you do something that you don't expect something, and I'm gonna tell you why. Not selfishly, it's not always selfish. It's not always self concerning, but no matter what you do, and you at least say, because I've heard people say it and I've done it. Like I'm doing everything right. I'm following this. I'm helping people, and I even feel sometimes the universe is doing me dirty. I've heard people say that. So even if you do things, no, you don't expect things from your children. You still expect them to do right. You expect them to live right. So it's not specifically you're expecting anything back selfishly, but you expect something back. If you do good and you working to do good and you the one doing everything, you're not being selfish if you're thinking like, well, what am I doing, like what is it that I'm doing wrong because I can't get it together. So you always self-evaluate that, and without even realizing it, you do say and you do expect sometimes. Not doing things, say, okay, I paid it forward, so I expect somebody to pay it forward for me, and if they don't, I'm not paying it forward no more. Damn it, no, not from that aspect, but just from the fact that you want things to be more cohesive. In your life and move a little smoothly because you're figuring, well, you know what, I'm doing everything that the grand architect wants me to do, and I'm really trying, but I just can't catch a break. So from that aspect, that's how I feel about it.
Well, let me say this. As I said earlier, we all have a self serving bias. And anything in the world or in this life that we have a guilty conscience about has to do with our intent. So that's the number one thing. So we all have a self-serving bias. We were born that way. We were all born with a selfish nature. And let me explain why that is. Because even God himself, the grand architect, he says that I'm a selfish God, right? And we're all gods. I'm not going to get into that masonically or otherwise, but he says that he's a selfish God. Now, there is an expectation that we have because of our nature. Now, that is not necessarily a bad thing. To expect something when you do something from somebody else is not necessarily a bad thing. As Keith indicated, there are people who are just good natured by their chemical makeup, just by the way that they live their lives. But even those people, let me point this part out. Even those people expect something in return. What do they expect? And what do we get? Whenever we do something for somebody, whether or not we get some material reward, or whether or not we get patted on the back, or we get a trophy, or whatever, what we get internally is that feeling that makes us feel good about our giving. So we get that by default. You don't do anything for somebody then feel bad about it. Normally, you can have the most hateful person around, and on the outside, they will appear to be very disgruntled and don't want to help you. And I've cautioned people about evaluating these type of people many times before, because when you see people who give to you and they have some type of I would say malice on the outside, it appears to be like they have some malicious, negative connections with whatever they do. Those people too, they feel good about giving. It's your nature. You cannot feel bad about it because God put Himself and that feeling of accomplishment in you. So to want to thank you and to just, even if you don't receive a thank you, when you go home, you feel good. If you help that old lady cross the street, she may not be able to do anything for you, but that feeling of gratification, that feeling of being able to help that person is something that we crave and that we need and that we want each and every time we do something. Now, here's the thing. There's a degree of selfishness that a person can have to cause that act to become selfish. There's a certain degree of selfishness when a person does something that causes that act to be selfish, evil, and undesirable. Meaning the reason we help us and we help other people, meaning we do it with the intent to only benefit ourselves in a greater way than our help. Let me say that again. When we help other people and we have the sole inclination, the sole purpose, or if I'm going to give him $1, I can afford $1 because I'm going to charge him interest and get $50 back, which is an unfair equation. So it greatly benefits us more than the help itself. And not taken away from what, if they ask for $1, that dollar may feel like $100 to them if they needed it. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the heart condition of the individual who's giving. If my expectation is to receive something far greater than what I'm given, that's a selfish act that is unacceptable and unwanted, and is frowned upon by people and God Himself. So we have to keep that in mind. There's a difference when we have a greater advantage. When our expectation of reward becomes greater than the help itself, or to include not only the money, not to only to include the material, but even if we are receiving an emotional high that's far greater and unbalanced in the equation, then that is a selfish act. Because we expect to gain something much greater than the help we are providing. Now, people help others for a variety of reasons. While sometimes we expect something in return, often we don't. We don't expect anything in the material sense. At least consciously we don't. We don't expect anything consciously. Now, here's some of the reasons that we give to people, and we give willingly. Because we have genuine empathy and compassion. When we see someone who needs some help, we automatically have an empathetic perspective, whether or not we acknowledge it or not. because we see that individual and we can imagine ourselves in it, whether or not we help, walk by, and spit on them or whatever. But we can see ourselves in a similar situation. So we have empathy that's automatically built into us as well. Just like I said, we have a self-serving bias. We're all humans. We're all social beings. And we are, as Keith said, we're not built to be independent rather than interdependent on each other. There's a big difference. Okay? So now, many people help simply because they feel the other person's suffering or their struggle. This is sometimes called empathetic concern, a kind of emotional pull that makes you want to act. It causes you to act when you have that empathy for that individual. It causes you to do something. In these cases, there's no difference and there's no direct expectation of a reward. So these people don't really expect you to give them a $100 reward because you rescued the cat from the tree. They feel the struggle and they feel the suffering of that individual, that little girl who wants her cat from being stuck in the tree. All right. So although there might be an inner satisfaction, that's that self-serving bias. That inner satisfaction is still a reward to us.
Callie says, after a while, no, because the reciprocation feels one sided. In terms of I guess you expecting at least some kind of love or some kind of appreciation. And like I said, I can understand that point too. We all at some point, like she said,
What was her statement? What did she say?
he's talking in relation to us not wanting any kind of like reward or anything. She says after a while, she says no because the reciprocation feels one sided. In other words, if you're always receiving, something, but you're never even getting any kindness, or anything, what I'm saying. So yeah, and I think a lot like what you said, as we've talked about many things, it does have to do with the intent, like where your heart condition is when you're doing certain things. And a lot of people, they forget about that part.
Well, I think what Callie is saying is that, and she can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's saying that no, you don't expect anything back because it's never reciprocated. So at some point in time, you don't even expect it anymore. Am I right, Callie?
No, I think it's because she's saying sometimes, because I guess the best way I interpret that is that sometimes things can feel a little one-sided. Like
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
That's exactly what I said.
different then.
Huh?
Okay, I said okay. I didn't understand what you were saying. I guess.
Yeah, I'm saying that the question and our discussion is, do we expect anything in return when we help someone? So her statement, in my opinion, is that she's saying, no, I don't expect anything given some people because they are not reciprocating. They are not showing any thanks, or they're not really giving me anything back. But because I'm a good natured person, I'm going to continue to do good and help as many people as I can. But for certain people, I don't expect anything because they've shown me that it's not going to be reciprocated. Callie, comment, am I right or am I wrong? So, but I hear what she's saying, and that can be very, very disappointing when you help somebody. Because again, we all want that feeling of accomplishment in our lives. Anytime we do anything, we want to feel that we actually accomplished something. And there's nothing wrong with that. And particularly when we go out of our way to help people who we don't ordinarily even have to help. Family members, close friends, yeah, there's an expectation from both sides. They expect you to help, and because of they're your family members, then you expect to come to their aid and give them assistance. But there are people that we help outside of that, and we really don't have to help them. But if we choose to help them, then at a minimum, even if we don't, that person never does anything for me, at a minimum, I will feel good about helping and giving that assistance. That's all I'm saying. Also, people give because it's social bonding. So we're talking about our family members and people in our inner circles. All right, that's a gimme. But there are other people that we're going to help outside of our family, such as co-workers, such as people we meet at the mall, such as people who belong to fraternities and sororities and different clubs. It helps to create that social bonding. It strengthens relationships and it builds trust. When we help people, they trust us. It helps to build that trust when we help people, because now people look at you like you can be counted on. Particularly, hey, think about this. You got some people who don't have any family members at all. And I often think about this because, I'm blessed, and everybody on this live, well, at least the co-hosts and everybody that I know personally, they have other family members. So, and even in some families, you can't count on them either, because they act just like they don't belong in your family. So I say all that to say that even the people who are outside of our circle, when we help them, it builds a relationship with that individual. And that doesn't mean that they're going to come ask you every time, well, let me take them back. But they ain't got nobody else to come to. Hey, well, let me say this. Have y'all experienced this? I try to help people. You might help an individual every now and then, right? If you help somebody, does it seem like that individual, for whatever reason, you're the only person that seems to always be helping them? How about you, Keith? Have you ever experienced that?
Go ahead, say that again.
What I asked was that when you help someone, I
Right.
just finished speaking, kind of detailed on people who don't have any family members.
Yeah, I heard that. Hmm.
So it seems like, and we, because I'm from the South, right? And I grew up, my family was a close-knit family, and we still are today. So there's a different kind of nurturing that my parents and my aunties, they gave us. They instilled it in us that we're supposed to help people. Everybody is not that fortunate to have that kind of upbringing. So I'm saying to you, so I go and I help individuals who I know don't have any other family members or any close friends that they trust. But it seems like every time this individual, and I'm not speaking to anyone in particular, I'm just talking in general, but it seems like that individual always finds me. Have that happened to you?
Yes, all the time.
It's
That's why I
just,
said earlier in the beginning, it's a spiritual thing. There's some type of wavelength that there's an energy that you give off when you're somebody like us, and they always find you. Yeah, and you're not even looking for them in certain instances. Like you're looking, and then you're like, you know what? Boom. But here's the problem. Sometimes you end up helping those people, and you learn later you shouldn't have been trying to help those people because they're not trying to help themselves. So,
Amen.
you know what I'm saying?
Hey,
It gets
that's the word
so when we
too.
get into this discussion. I mean, helping people is great, and wanting to do nice things for people is great, but they got to also want to help themselves. So, the Good Samaritan thing is great, but at some point, you have to take individual accountability for your life and what it is that you're doing. And all of us have gotten helped and continue to get helped along the way. So I don't want to be mistaken here, but what happens is some people, like in what you say, they latch on when they find you and they try to milk you for whatever they can get from you without trying to add value to the relationship. So,
Yeah.
yeah. And I think that's also what Callie was talking about when she was
Yeah.
talking about what Joy said, no reciprocation. Yeah, the
Yeah.
person's milking the relationship. They're not even looking to reciprocate what you're doing. All they doing is take, 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 take. They're not trying to give it all. Yep.
Yeah. And I agree with that. Hey, I see my cousin. Hey, Frederick, what's happening, boss? But anyway, that is one of my pet peeves, man. I don't mind helping people, but when there's a fine line between someone taking advantage of a situation and someone merely needing some help, and you're the last resort. So there's a thin line between somebody just abusing that situation, particularly when they know that you are able. And it kind of hurts when you have to say no to people. And I know people right now, uh, they just can't say no, man. I mean, and I look at in my circle and I see people, and I know people are taking advantage of them because they are good natured, they're soft spoken, their whole demeanor is warm and kind. And, I'm from the streets, man. Them kind of people get ate up where I'm from if they don't have, um, a support unit that can pull their coattail and say, "Hey, no, that ain't a good move to make."
Yeah,
But anyway,
my biggest issue is I
I
don't
can't hear you.
I don't know why.
Is your microphone up?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what's going on. I
We're
said
gonna
it's
have to
storming
get
over
you a,
here.
smartphone 101 booklet.
No, this ain't that. It's storming over here. What I was gonna say is you know, like I had to stop that. I will lash out, and when I get mad, I will be like, I don't help you about 25 million dang times. No, you know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
got to wait. I have to learn, and I think some other people, may have this problem too. Is I gotta stop telling you no before I get mad. Because then I've helped you, I've exhausted all resources for you, and this, that, and I don't see you going nowhere. But I can't, I learned you can't get mad at the person because you're the one that did it. You know what I mean? So yeah, I have to just get to a point where before I get mad, how they tell them children go over there and time out and count to 10. That don't never last for me, not even if they have snacks on timeout. So I ain't gonna count to 10. I ain't gonna count to 5. If I don't, now I have a 3 rule limit. If I don't help you 3 times and I don't see, or 2 times and I don't see any improvement, I'm just gonna tell you straight out, and don't care if you mad at me. Like, hey, you know what? I can't do anything else for you because. And I think, too, we scared to tell people why. You don't have to tell them why, but sometimes people just need to know why. No, because you're a sucker. Because I can't, you know what I mean? And sometimes that might help people, and sometimes they might get mad, but I could fight too. So I just tell you, I'm just gonna tell you, like, no, I got them frying pans. They be
And
saying,
all,
well,
all I'm saying is that, I learned early on that there are some people, and I'm not saying that you turn people off, but I did a post in Facebook not too long ago. If you don't let people get the lesson, if you rescue them before they learn the lesson, then you are actually crippling them. Think about it. If there's a lesson to be learned, we are all social beings and we are creatures of habit. So we watch each other's move. We watch people's habits, and we know you can't tell me that anybody in your circle, once you render some help to them, you don't have an idea of what the response is going to be. I mean, nobody can tell me that. If you know that individual, you know their habits, you know whether or not they're trustworthy. So as we're speaking, we're talking about why some of these people, or why we as people help these kind of people. And that's what we're trying to get to. We're trying to get to the bottom line as to why do we help these people? Some of them undeserving in our eyes. Of course, in the eyes of God, we're all supposed to help.
Some of it I think is just human nature, and some of it I think is that we think we see something in them that they can't see in themselves, that we go being the self help Dr. Phil, Dr. Ruth, or whatever their name was kind of person. I don't think Dr. Ruth was that kind of person. I take that back. Whatever these self help people are, I'm just saying. Sometimes, wait a minute, take Dr. Ruth off of there. Take Dr. Ruth off, y'all. Hold on. But she helped other ways. But
Yeah,
Dr. Ruth was doing self-help too. Cut it out. You know what I'm saying?
another
yeah,
way,
she was doing
y'all.
self help, all right.
Yeah, I got a little lost right there. But nah, I just think, I just think,
Hey,
we
hey, calm down. This is the wrong form.
yeah, I got a little hot right there. So sometimes I think, we just want, that for people. But like Keith said, like you said, I mean, we say it in so many different ways. You can't do that. You just can't do that. You know how Dr. Phil be like, that's my man I'm sticking by, or that's my girl I'm sticking by. No, sometimes you have to say, yeah, well, that's my friend. I gotta go. I can't stick by it.
Yeah,
It ain't
well,
gonna
you
help.
got to say no.
We gotta
As
go
Cat
from
Williams said,
yeah, yeah. We
you
gotta go
got
from
you got to tell him no.
Yeah, we gotta go from Dr. Phil and Dr. Roof and all that to Cat Williams and Judge Mathis. Like Judge Mathis gonna tell you it's a hell no. So I mean, ain't nothing wrong with that. But anyway.
Oh yeah, but hey, so we're talking about these different types of variables and reasons that people render this help. All right, the next one I just talked about the moral and spiritual beliefs. Some people help because of their religious teaching. As I was saying, my grandparents, my family members, they taught us we should always help someone if we're able to do so. And they did that. They said that religiously. It doesn't matter how you feel about the individual. If you're able to help them and they need help, you're supposed to help.
I
So,
ain't agree with that first part you said.
what first part did you?
I know you had told you told me your mom said they gonna do what they want. This one situation where I'm gonna do what I want. If I don't like you and you ain't right, I'm sorry. I can't. If you ain't right, you know what I'm saying? Because I look at a lot of stuff. I don't judge people, but I gotta look at how you treated other people, or how you know what I'm saying, before I put myself in there. Because one, I feel like if I do that, not only am I enabling you to maybe hurt somebody else because you was already messed up in the first place, but two, I don't want that energy to rub off on me because I have enabled you. I have allowed you to get somewhere to do something else or somebody. So I can't. I'm just gonna agree with Miss Branch and be like, I'm just gonna be just the opposite. I can't do what they want. Till
Well,
I
you ain't agreeing with it, because that ain't what you
I
said.
said I can't agree with it right now. I got to go backwards until I can't do. I can't let them do what they want now because I can't.
Okay. All right. So some of it has to do with religious teaching, our cultural values, or the personal moral code that we live by. For example, treat others how you want to be treated. Uh, that's been a motto that the Baptist Church and Protestants and a lot of different religious organizations have taught and practiced for many, many centuries and many, many years. So it has to do with their spiritual beliefs as well. But even in these cases, the reward might be internal. We don't have to receive anything externally. Peace of mind, our spiritual peace, our belief in karmic return. A lot of people believe in karma. So if they don't help someone, then they feel that something bad is going to happen to them, or it's going to be reciprocated in some kind of way. And they also look for divine approval. If you're spiritual, then you feel that most of us feel that God approves, whatever we call our God, Allah, Jehovah, whatever. We
I,
believe.
wait
Go
a
ahead.
minute now. Hold on, sir. Hold on
All
now.
right, I'm holding on.
Gotta ask you a little question now. Hold on, because even the man upstairs got to a point where he had to show who was in charge. Hence, we had the judges when he felt like they showed him he was in charge enough. So I mean, I can't. I I don't know. I mean, I think I
So
might.
you trying to go masonically?
I'm just trying to tell you now. Everybody ain't ready for that now. So hence we had the judges. So I just have to, sit back and be like, y'all got to get them Jews indirectly. So okay, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna let you go and finish. Go
All
on,
right. Well, let me say it since you brought it up. The,
please
the,
and
the
thank you.
thing when we talk about the judges and God's promise and the stories in the Bible, number one, we have to understand the intent of those stories. When the stories are written, they are guidance for us. So, because in a lot of times where we see that, man, I don't want, no, let me stick to the stuff.
I'm just saying
Just
that ain't
kill
right.
that, 'cause I'm finna go
Okay.
somewhere else. But so let's do this. All right. So yeah, they believe in divine approval. They believe if they do the right thing, then God approves of it. And I feel the same way too, because I feel bad when I know I should have helped somebody and I didn't, or sometimes I even feel bad when I can't help them. But that has to be with my spiritual upbringing, even though at that time it was more religious than spiritual. And now I'm more spiritual, so I understand it a little better. So, in the right context, it assists in how I live my life. So, the next thing is a lot of people help people because of self imaging and identity. Think about it this way: we know that when we help someone, it makes us feel good, it makes us feel worthy, and it makes us feel that we are competent people, that we were able to assist someone else. It also, this part, it also shapes how people see us, which means a lot to our reputations. When people see us a certain way, that has to do with our reputation. So when we help someone, we know that other people are going to see. And I'm not saying everyone, but these are general reasons why people help other people. So back to the the boiling question is, why do we do it? We do it because we expect something out of it, even if we only get what, that self gratification or that self satisfaction. We don't have to receive anything tangible. So a lot of it can be intangible, but we still are receiving something. There's also hidden reciprocation. So we do expect something in return. Sometimes we just don't say it, even if it's not money or favors. It could be gratitude, as I just said, loyalty. If I help you, I expect you to be loyal to me. I think we got number 45. He's big on that, right? He ain't gonna help.
Fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. Don't get us banned off him.
Yeah, if you ain't loyal to Donald Trump, you ain't gonna have no job tomorrow. But anyway, even just a smile, right?
Yeah.
This and the thing is, because a lot of people talk about keeping it real and all these different things. This does not make the help fake. It does not make the help fake because you expect loyalty or you expect, uh, you want gratification from it or just a smile. It doesn't make it fake. It's still real help.
Mm.
Help is partly self-serving, always. Help is partly self-serving. You want to tip the scale to where your help is greater than your reward in order to feel good about yourself. Now you say, why would I say that? Because a lot of people, if I get a whole bunch of something for a little bit of nothing, then I'm gonna feel real good about myself. Yeah, and you may feel good about yourself if you receive a greater reward than your help. But we're created a certain kind of way. So if we help someone and our intent is aligned with the purpose that God has for us, we're not going to look for a greater reward when we help people. There's a balance in life that's necessary in everything. The planets line up a certain way. There's a balance to all of it. The sun rotates a certain way. There's a balance. The moon, the same way. So there's a blend of both. There's a blend of both our self-gratification and the help that we give. So help is always partly self-serving, even if the return is just emotional. Even if you don't have to receive anything materialistic to want something back. It can be emotional, it can be social, or it can be moral, rather than anything material. And again, in most real life situations, when we help somebody, there's a blend of both. Now, I'm not saying there's an equal blend. It ain't 50-50, but there's a blend of both of them. You're helping somebody, and all you want to do is feel good. You had a bad day today, so now what you want to do help someone. It's going to do something for your self-esteem. It's going to do something for the way that you feel about yourself. Regardless, you're still gaining something. You're still gaining something. Now, here's where we get into the psychological and this philosophical part of it. So the big question is, can anyone do anything as far as help and be 100% selfless? Now, we've already answered that question. Some of us believe that we can. The clinical answer is that the psychologists and the philosophers, they say no. They say it is not possible to be 100% selfish.
Well,
And
personally, I didn't think we needed their opinion to determine that.
no, but some people like research. Some people like to know whether or not the quote professionals have the same opinion. So that's why I make sure that we have some of that clinical advice and some of that professional opinions on these matters. But you're exactly right. We don't need anybody's perspective to know. We already know. So, but here's why they say that. Because number one, helping makes us feel good. So we can't be 100% selfish. So even if you expect nothing tangible in return, the satisfying feeling you get is a reward in itself. If you're satisfied because you help someone and you feel good about helping that individual, that is all the reward that you're going to get. That's all the reward that you need. Nevertheless, you're still being rewarded. Am I right or am I wrong, as Gino might say?
I mean, I think you might be right, sir.
Yeah, because you're getting something out of it. And you know, a lot of people think that when you say you're getting something out of it, it has to be material. It doesn't have to be material for you to gain an advantage. You can gain an advantage psychologically. You can feel good about something, and somebody else not even know how you feel about it, right? But there is a psychological or emotional gain that you get from helping people. So we always going to get something out of it. Now, so there's also social and evolutionary programming. Y'all listen to this. I had to wet my throat. We don't evolve independently. We don't evolve independently. I'll let that marinate for a while. We can develop ourselves independently, but evolving needs external involvement. We can develop ourselves independently. Otherwise, other words, I can go to the gym and I can pump up. I can read books and become a scholar. I can develop myself independently. But when I evolve as an individual, it takes other people and external forces. Humans evolve in cooperation with other groups. That means more than one person. That's the only way that we evolve. We evolve in relationships to a group. We develop as an individual. Helping increases our reputation, strengthens our alliances, and indirectly boosts our survival chances and those of our family members. So when we help, we already have a built-in formula. That formula is built into us. We are all individuals that are here to survive. We survive and we become more apt to survive when we do it within groups, not individuals. So even if you're not consciously thinking about it in that terms, as far as surviving, your biology lacks helping because it has a survival value. In other words, we live in a community. Every day I'm not going to have food if food is scarce. So if I help someone else within my community, the likelihood of them helping me when I don't have food is far greater than if I never help them at all. Think about it. When you help someone, it has to do with your biology of survival. Those are the kind of people that we are. We are humans. We are the creatures that exercise dominion over the earth. And we know how to survive. And we know that the only way that we survive is not independently, but we survive interdependently because we depend on other people and other people depend on us. And when we help other people, it increases the likelihood that we're going to be helped. I want that to sink in for a moment. y'all can comment if y'all got something to say because I'm about to close out. I made my points and I made them very emphatically because I know that these aren't things that people think about. When you help someone, you have a basic instinct. Your biology is built that way to help other people because it increases the idea that if I ever need help, then they will be more than willing to give me the help or reciprocate it because I help them. Does that make sense? All right.
It does. And I'm happy that you came to the front of the classroom and you brought this lesson to us.
Oh,
But
no.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
still tell you, I'm not gonna help you too much if you ain't helping yourself. I'm just gonna tell you no.
Well, yeah, that's different, DeJoy. If you're not helping yourself, we don't want to assist and cause any detriment to people by helping. We want to help people so that they become better. So of course, I'm not going to go give a heroin addict, an ounce of doogie or an ounce of heroin because he'll kill
That's
himself.
the example you had to use. You had to go back with the Pookie on New Jack City. You had to bring him back.
I could go all the way back to the 70s on it. Yeah. But like I stated earlier, I personally, and I know you and believe we can't help anyone without some sort of compensation or reward. The most important thing to me and the most important thing to anybody on this live should be knowing that you cannot receive a greater reward than the help. You know what I'm saying? Now, most people are going to try to equate that to a number. And that's not going to always work out. You can help somebody who is dirt poor today, and all they want is something to eat. And you buy them a meal, and you are genuinely kind, and you really want to help that individual, and they can sense your genuinity, and they understand that help came from within your heart. They can make billions and come and give you $100 million for that help. So it doesn't always equate with the number. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't always mean that, okay, for me to be satisfied or for that help to be valuable to that individual, there's got to be whatever they can do for me now or in the future. You don't have that expectation. What you expect if you're helping someone is for them to actually be grateful, be happy, and to try to get into a better place. Those are the reasons that we help people. So if we are created and survive based on, I said that wrong. We are all created and we have a survival instinct, and we all have a system of reward and punishment. That's what we understand. Reward and punishment. You're built that way. You were created that way. No one has to teach you that when you do something well, that you want to be rewarded or you want it acknowledged. No one has to teach you that. No one has to teach you if you go beat up little Bobby and somebody finds out and your mother finds out and spanks you, before you get that spanking, you expect to get punished for what you did. It goes hand in hand with understanding that we all expect something when we help. We all expect something when we help. We expect a smile. We expect for the person to be grateful. We expect that person to do better. We feel satisfied excuse me, we feel satisfied because we're able to help. So that is in itself our reward. Now it's up for debate because I know people gonna have it. Well, I know plenty of people that don't want nothing. Yeah, they might not want anything material, but when they sleep at night, they sleep good. So they're being rewarded. Now, so in conclusion, well, before I do that, does any of my co-hosts have anything they want to add before I close it out? I guess not.
Nah, you go ahead and close it out. I mean, I think expectation, like I said in the beginning, it's varied and it's multifaceted. So when you talk about if you help someone, you expect some gratitude. You expect all those things. Honestly, that's we all expect those type of things.
Right.
I think where a lot of people's minds go to is I help this person and in return they're going to give me this or I'm going to get that. It's like a very direct transactional type of relationship. And people have to understand that spiritually, we're not supposed to operate totally in that transactional phase. We're supposed to do because we're supposed to. So it's not a because the exponential growth of what it is that you're doing or wherever you're going, like we talk about, it's not linear, right? It's exponential. So you can't gauge it transaction for transaction, 1 for 2, 2 for 3. It's all you have to do it on faith. And guess what? Sometimes you might not get anything out of it other than you did something and there's no gratitude, but that still doesn't make you wrong for helping the person.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, I agree with both. You know, I agree with you guys and everything that was said tonight. I think it was quite informative. So, you know, I learned a lot myself.
Okay. All right. Well, again, we appreciate all of you. I see several, well, quite a few new people. So, hey, we're here every Wednesday at 8 o'clock. So make sure you kind of put us on your calendar because we're up and coming. We normally have, we get quite a few views. So we up and coming. But we, more important than that, we enjoy doing what we're doing. So, in conclusion, we help others mainly because we are wired for empathy, social connection, and our moral and spiritual values. Those are the reasons that we help people. When we do, our brains automatically reward us. That's the key. When we help people, our brains, no one else has to do anything for us. When we help people, our brains automatically reward us. Now, isn't that special? You don't even realize it, that you got a built-in reward system that you don't even pay any attention to. Our brains reward us with a helper's high. We get high. What's that? Adrenaline and everything kicks in. We feel good. Because we help people, and our brains do it for us. We don't have to do anything. Our brains are automatically wired to do that because it makes us feel good. Helping others is both natural and rewarding. I think I've said on several lives before, if you walk past somebody in the street and they're suffering and you can step over them, you ain't got no God in you. Not many people can see somebody who's suffering and just walk past them. I don't care if you render to help yourself, but even calling someone, that's rendering help. Even throwing a coat on them if it's cold and rainy outside, that's rendering help. So we are all wired that way. Now, don't get me wrong. Some people have gotten so evil and devilish that they can really walk away and don't feel anything. Not at that moment, anyway. But trust and believe. They feel something because it's in their system. It's in their DNA. It's the way God created us all. All right? So it benefits us while rewarding us and benefiting the person we're helping and rewarding the person we're helping as well. Either way, simply feeling good about helping others is a reward in itself if we don't receive anything else. So we always get something out of helping people. And it's the right thing to do. So with that being said, thank all of you for joining us. Adiwa, Adime, Auf Wiedersehen, bye, and we'll see you all next Wednesday. Take care.